In A to Z Sports, Andrew Goldstein alongside Zach Weiss, Colston Cooper, now behind the camera. And we have with us for this segment, coach of the women's basketball team here at Point Park, Tony Grenek. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. It's good to be back, and I hope you enjoyed your summers, and thanks for having me back on the show.
Absolutely. It's always great and a true treat to have you on. And I guess we'll just start with just looking at it from the off-season perspective. Since when have you had the loss digested, and kind of what are you building towards now as the season comes closer?
I think I got over the loss personally rather quickly. I'd say maybe a week after the season, and started to think about rebuilding the team. We got a brand new squad. We have actually a ballooned roster of about 18 players. We've had workouts all through September. We started our first official practice yesterday and just got off the court just a little bit ago. And I really like what we see, what I've seen so far. We're going to have a lot of depth. We're going to have a lot of quickness. We lack a little bit of height, but I think we can make that up with our depth. And I'm really anxious to see where this team can go this year.
How much can roster expansion like you've had this year affect the team?
It could be positive and it could be negative. If you looked at our team last year, we were really only 7, maybe 8 deep per game. And if you're going to have a team of 18 or 19 players, and you're only playing 7 or 8 kids, you're going to have 11 kids that are frustrated and could get tired of sitting the bench throughout the season. However, we're trying to play a little bit more up tempo. We have some very good athletes. I'd say that are very equal in talent, so there shouldn't be much of a drop-off, and a lot is going to depend on their part, where if they can pressure the ball defensively and play good defense, and really if we can use our depth to our advantage and everybody's happy, where we can play everybody and wear teams down as well.
One of the big issues last season for a consistent basis was the offense. How have you tried to address that and improve the offense to be a more consistent piece of the puzzle this year?
We recruited some shooters. We have a young lady that has come from Compton, California, Taylor McCoy, who has outstanding three-point range. We also have Alexis Zanakis, who is a freshman guard from Keystone Oaks, an 1,000-point scorer there with some good three-point shooting range. We also return Emily Shartner, who is our solid three-point shooter by the end of the season. We will have April Austin in the second semester eligible, who is the school's all-time three-point leading scorer. And so, with the additions of Carly Corcoran, who's a freshman from the Baldwin area, and she's also a tremendous shooter, I think offensively we will be a much more sound team. Last year we kind of fed off our defense. We still want to defend and pick you up full court and create turnovers. I just think we'll be able to finish better, and even our returning players, you can tell that they've really improved in their shooting ability.
Obviously it's a long off season for you guys. So what do you do, and what do you suggest that the players do for you guys to stay prepared?
Basically, what we tell the team in the off season, we email them a workout to follow. Really work on your strength training. Really shoot the ball, get out there and play. There's a summer league for our local kids in the Pittsburgh area for women, and get an opportunity to play against players from Pitt, Duquesne, other Division I schools that the kids that from different areas go to. So we try to stay active that way, and what we do when we come into September, once school starts, is basically ease into everything and stay and work on our fundamentals, stay with our strength training, and slowly build our pieces to the puzzle to hopefully peak by late January, early February, March.
Just assess the team from a preseason perspective, just 1 through 5 position-wise. I know we kind of talked earlier when we met earlier at the ballpark. We kind of had a basic idea of what to expect, but obviously preseason and training and things along those lines can bring some differences.
Yeah, I think you have the returnees of Katrisa Savitsky, who's looked great in the preseason and is in great shape and getting up and down the floor. You got Emily Shartner, who was the newcomer of the year in the conference. last year, and with those two young ladies and the improvement of Haley Sauer and Teresa Davis and Mara McCaslin, Brittany Dunmeyer, with the additions of Jania McFadder from La Roche, who's used to winning. You know, she won 3 WPIL championships at Newcastle, made it to the Division III NCAA tournament last year at La Roche, has transferred at our place, and with the addition of our freshmen coming in, we have a lot of depth. You know, you have Maeve Gallagher and returning, you know, adds toughness to our lineup, and it should be an exciting year, and it's hard to assess right now who would be starting and who wouldn't, but you know, I'm hoping if everybody's on the same page, we can play a lot of kids and wear some teams down, and hopefully pull out a lot of victories.
How do you feel that the team is going to adjust to the new conference?
You know, it's really tough to say. You know, we have it broken down into 4 long road trips in the state of Indiana and 3 in Kentucky. And you know, we kind of luck out because these trips that we are making are over winter break. You know, it's not going to interfere with our classes. They're Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes back-to-back games. And basically you're doing your traveling on the weekends, and it's going to be over break where there's no class. And so I think if we can hold serve at our home court, because they have to do the same thing, the Kentucky teams, when they travel here, they'll be playing us and Carlo back-to-back. If we can hold our own court at home and continue to win. I think we were 13-1 there last year, and you know, hopefully play 500 ball or better on the road. We should be putting ourselves in a pretty good position.
I know it's again very early, but it's the fill-in-the-blank question. This team will win if, and this team will lose if.
Once again, we will win if we play defense like we did last year. We want to be more up-tempo offensively, and to be more up-tempo offensively and to generate more points, we need to play great defense and cause a lot of turnovers. If it gets to the point where we can only play 6 or 7 kids again and we have to play grind-out basketball, I think we're only going to go so far in the tournament, you know, if we would even be lucky enough to make the tournament. But if everybody chips in and does their part and believes in the system and what we're trying to do and pressure the ball and pressure defensively, I think our potential is unlimited.
I know the defense was the strength of the team last year, but do you feel that there's any room for improvement on the defense still?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you saw in that champion or the national tournament game last year, even though we only gave up 60 points, 3 of those buckets they scored were we had some confusion on switches on screens, or they got easy layups. We also gave a layup up on an out-of-bounds play, which is a no-no for us. So right there they got 8 points generated, you know, by mistakes by us that shouldn't happen, and if those don't happen, we would have won that game. So you know, hopefully we can correct those, and there's always room for improvement in every facet of the game.
I know your goal, especially I remember you said, it was widely talked about, when you first came in, you asked the girls if they knew where the national tournament was held. Just are those the hopes again this year, just to make it to the national tournament and maybe even just not just get there like you did last year, and not only compete but get that W?
I think our seniors are really focused right now. You can see it already. In fact, in the first couple days and even in the preseason workouts, I've had to try to tone them down because they are so anxious and chomping at the bit. They want to get back there so badly. And the thing is, you know, it's an old saying, but you know, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and you know, we got to pace ourselves, and you need a little luck to go along the way. You know, we need to avoid injury, we need to play smart and not overlook any opponent, and if we can do that, like I said, I think we have unlimited potential.
Obviously you were saying how you have your long road trips over the winter break. I know the men's team usually has a long period of time off over the winter break, though, so they're off for close to a month. You, I guess, get around 2 weeks off or so every season when the holidays come. how does that affect the team when you have a month off like you've seen the men have, or when you just have a couple weeks off like you've had?
Well, this year it's going to have to change because of the conference schedule. The men aren't going to be able to have that month off in December like they usually take. So really what we try to do, I know on my part, is we try to get rest, throughout different parts of the season. I'm not a big believer like over Thanksgiving break, coming back that Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. What I like to do is, when we have an opportunity to break for Thanksgiving, give them that entire weekend off and not even play till the following week. So, and then return to practice on Monday. So we try to get a little break there. And the same thing with over Christmas. We do want to enjoy ourselves, and we try to make this a pleasurable experience for our student athletes. So basically, if you look at your schedule, and you kind of have to work it out to get those rest periods and to keep everybody healthy, and the flu bug hits every team and at some point of the season as well. So you got to try to do the best you can so you're peaking come February.
I know the talk a lot of the time, as even in this interview, is just about the players, but what do you have to say about assistant coach Ryan Micheletti? I know I see you often in practice guiding the drills, conducting the drills with the players so they see how to properly do something. Just what is it like having kind of that sixth person on the floor being your assistant coach there? Well,
Ryan's the best. When I got this job, I mean, there was no, you had to officially apply for the position to be my assistant coach, and it was a done deal. I mean, I came in saying, I'm bringing in my own assistant. Ryan played for me when I was at Seton Hill University. She's a wonderful young lady, very bright, very intelligent. The future for her is unbelievable. You'll probably be seeing her on TV coaching, being a head coach someday at a big-time program at like UConn in Tennessee. And I really mean that. And she's a kid I can trust. She's like my daughter. And, I couldn't do this without her. And she's just a tremendous asset to not only our basketball program, but our university as well. And I can't say enough about Ryan. And I know a lot of times assistant coaches maybe don't get enough credit as they deserve. But without question, she's a key cog to this program.
This is a question Zach likes to ask all the time.
Way to throw me under the bus.
Well, no, it's not a bad question. Obviously, there's a real positive outlook for the team this year. How big is fan support going to be for the team?
Okay.
It's going to be huge. We loved what happened last year. The crowd support that we received down the stretch during our stretch run was incredible. And unfortunately, we're going to have quite a few home games that are going to be over Christmas break when the students aren't here. We are making a pitch to try to host the KIAC tournament. They kind of go in alphabetical order because the team that is supposed to host it this year has gotten a new athletic director and some new coaches, and they didn't want that responsibility. So we're trying to make a push to maybe get it here at Point Park because we just provide an unbelievable atmosphere, and we really hope that people are going to come out and root for us. And I know it's going to be tough for a lot of the students because, like I said, we're going to be on break for quite a few games. But hopefully, starting November 9th or November 8th, which is our first home game against Salem International, we'll be packing the gym right away, and I think we're going to be a lot of fun to watch too. I think we're going to get up and down the court, and I know one thing, I know we play hard.
For more information on the Point Park women's basketball team, including probably in the near future, a schedule possibly coming out pretty soon, I'm assuming, www.pointpark.edu/athletics, or follow @PointParkSports on Twitter. Coach Grenek, thanks so much as always for coming on, and you're always welcome back, whether it's to talk a basketball team, do another segment, whatever the case may be. It's always a joy to have you on, and it'd be great to have you on again in the future.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're up against a break, and following that, Kenta Colby is here in the studio right now and waiting to be interviewed, so we will cut to that following this break. You're listening to the Voice of Point Park, 670 AM WPPJ.